Foster children, what's the most insane thing you ever experienced? I was 12 when I got placed with the Carter family. They seemed normal enough at first. Nice suburban house, 2 biological kids already, golden retriever named Buster running around the yard. The social worker said they'd been fostering for 3 years with great reviews. But on my very first night, Mrs. Carter handed me this thick 3-ring binder. The thing was huge, like a college textbook. House rules, she said with this weird smile. Study it thoroughly before breakfast tomorrow. You'll be tested. I figured it would be basic stuff. Clean your room, no swearing, lights out at 9, normal foster family expectations. Instead, I opened it to find 47 pages of the most insanely detailed rules I'd ever seen in my life. Page 12 had bathroom protocols. You had to log the exact time you went in and came out on a clipboard by the door. Page 18 covered proper fork placement during meals with diagrams showing 15 different positions. Page 23 explained the 17 different approved ways to fold bath towels. But the absolute weirdest part was the point system. Every single rule violation cost points. Forgetting to push your chair in after meals, -5 points. Stepping on the wrong colored floor tile in the hallway, -10 points. Breathing too loudly during homework time, -15 points. I thought they had to be messing with me, some kind of weird foster family initiation joke, until breakfast the next morning. I reached across the table for the orange juice with my left hand instead of my right. Mrs. Carter immediately stopped eating and wrote something in her little notebook. Left-handed beverage retrieval during morning meal service, -3 points, Danny. Their biological kids, Emma and Tyler, ate in complete silence like trained soldiers. They moved like robots, checking their copies of the binder between every single bite. Emma wouldn't even make eye contact with me. I lasted exactly 2 days before I broke 17 different rules. I used the main staircase instead of the back stairs. I sneezed without covering my mouth with the proper hand position. I said yeah instead of yes ma'am when asked a direct question. That evening, Mrs. Carter called a formal family meeting in their living room. Danny has reached -50 points in less than 48 hours, she announced to everyone. Time for corrective consequences. She led me down to the basement through this heavy wooden door. In the far corner was this small room, maybe 6 feet by 8 feet, with just a thin mattress on the floor and a plastic bucket in the corner. No windows anywhere, no light switch inside. This is where rule breakers spend time thinking seriously about their poor choices, she said, pushing me inside and locking the door behind me. I spent 3 full days down there in complete darkness. She'd slide peanut butter sandwiches and a cup of water through a slot in the door twice a day. Emma would sneak down late at night and whisper desperate apologies through the crack under the door. On day 4, someone came for an unexpected surprise visit. My caseworker, Ms. Patterson. She always called families ahead of time before visiting, but apparently something had gone wrong with her usual schedule that week. Mrs. Carter totally panicked when the doorbell rang. She rushed downstairs, unlocked my door, and practically dragged me to the upstairs bathroom. You fell down outside and got dirty playing, she hissed while shoving me into the shower. That's the only reason you look rough right now. Do you understand me? I nodded because I was genuinely scared of going back to that basement room. But when Ms. Patterson sat me down privately and asked how things were really going, something in her experienced eyes told me she already suspected the truth. Turns out, Emma had been secretly calling the state foster care hotline for weeks behind her parents' backs. She'd been reporting everything in detail. The insane point system, the basement punishment room, the way they treated foster children completely differently than their biological kids. Ms. Patterson found the rule binder still open on the kitchen table when she started looking around. She flipped through it slowly while Mrs. Carter tried desperately to explain it away as necessary structure for troubled children from difficult backgrounds. But page 31 completely gave away their whole scheme. It had a section clearly titled Biological Children Exemptions List. Emma and Tyler didn't have to follow any of the ridiculous rules. The entire twisted system was designed only for foster kids. That same afternoon, I packed my few belongings while Mrs. Carter cried loudly about losing her monthly foster care payments. $400 per month per kid placed with them. That's all any of us were actually worth to her family. Emma hugged me tight goodbye and slipped a folded note into my jacket pocket. When I read it later, it said, "I'm so sorry we couldn't save the other kids who came before you." Turns out I was their 7th foster placement in just 2 years. 7 different kids who'd lived in that horrible basement room for breaking completely made-up rules designed to punish us. The Carters lost their foster license permanently. Emma's now studying social work in college, determined to protect kids like me.